I'm making this video for those of you who have a 2004 to 2006 Toyota Sienna van. And I have always struggled with these halogen ballasts for the main headlight, as well as the halogen lights that go in them. These go out about every 2 years, the ballast does. And in order to repair it, you have to take the quarter panel out here and go through all of this stuff that I've gone through for years, every couple of years. I've always wanted to switch them out, but never knew how. And when I purchased a new headlamp set to go on my Toyota Sienna, I found out something that I didn't know, and that is that the receiver for the new headlamp that comes in is for a standard HID bulb, and it looks like this. The receiver on mine, the older style, is for an HID bulb, which requires the ballast. This is what we don't want anymore. And when you get this, the problem is that your wiring in the 2004 to 2006, and maybe perhaps beyond that a little bit, your wiring in the van does not fit this. So here's what you have to do to fix it, and I would recommend you do this the next time you change your bulbs, because then it gets rid of the ballast in the process. First of all, let me go to one over here that is assembled normally, and if you do this, you'll know what you're looking at. You take out this plug, which comes out of the ballast, and you clip the wires right there. Just clip them off, okay? Then once you pull that out, you need to put in its place, and you need to connect the red to the red and connect the black to the black. This male, and I got this from Autocraft, this high temperature headlight socket, and it looks like this, okay? So you connect this onto what did go into the ballast in that plug right there. All right, once you do that and you take out all this wiring here that connected to the ballast, you can get rid of the ballast. This socket plugs into this lamp, which is a halogen lamp for the Toyota Sienna that we're discussing. It's a 9006 lamp. So you've got your socket here, and it says it's for a 9006 lamp, and you've got your 9006 halogen light. It is a non-HID light, and that's the difference. The high density lights take the ballast, and the normal lights do not. The normal halogen lights do not. So this plug, this socket, goes into this bulb, and then that bulb plugs directly into the new Toyota Sienna headlamp assembly. Notice that there's a hole in here for bringing the halogen wires through, and there's no hole here. There's a couple of other differences. This just has a plug, and you don't need a hole there anymore either. But when you're finished, you will have converted your van from a halogen HID system, which requires a ballast, to a non-HID halogen bulb that has been directly wired into the wire that used to run into and power the ballast. And you no longer need a ballast. In fact, I've got this wire. There's not enough light under here to see this, but you can just see where I did the splices here, and it goes straight into the light. And so the electricity works. I didn't see any instructions on the instructions I read on the internet with regard to getting a different amperage fuse. So I'm just going to use the same amperage fuse, bypass the ballast, and put the 9006 bulb into the new headlight assembly. And of course, the reason why I was switching this out is because mine have turned so dark that you can hardly see light through them anymore. And these new headlight assemblies, this one was about 50 bucks. They're much clearer and you can see much better, and you can see also they're much nicer looking. So that's how you switch out an HID ballast required headlamp assembly to a non-HID halogen bulb, and how you wire it simply by putting this plug in place where the power originally came in and connected to the ballast. You just simply switch this plug out and plug the light straight into it, bypassing the ballast. Thanks a lot. Hope this is helpful. Okay, this is just to give you a detailed look, a little more at what we just did. As I mentioned, we cut the wire off of the plug that went into the ballast. This supplied 12-volt power to the ballast, which then subsequently, through this cable, supplied it to the halogen light. So we're clipping this off. This is the 12-volt power feed to the ballast. And as I mentioned before, we are wiretapping in. You want to match red to red and black to black. And this is the other end of the cable, which plugs into the car into the van. And what we've put on here is this headlamp piece, which plugs into the headlamp. So this is the actual socket that goes into the headlamp, and on the other end is the piece that plugs into the van. So once you get in here to your wire harness in the van, you'll find the one that this plugs into, and it looks like this. And you replug this plug into the one that goes into the van, and then the other end that you've tapped on here, going red to red and black to black, this end plugs into your halogen 9006 bulb. And then the halogen 9006 bulb goes into the proper place on the new headlamp set, headlamp assembly, and it screws in there and fits perfectly with this adapter that comes on the new one. Hope that's helpful.